and welcome to the Kindred Essence Tarot, which has pick-a-card readings on subjects like astrology, karma, aliens, cats, trauma, narcissists, and other healing issues, and plus a lot of other subjects. So this reading is called What is the Karma for the Narcissist in Your Life? And stay tuned for two other readings I will be doing in the next couple days called How Can You Heal from Your Narcissist Abuser or Your Narcissistic Abuse, and also another reading is How Can You Stop Attracting Narcissists? But for this reading, Karma for the Narcissist in Your Life, look at the three piles. We've got the purple pile, pile number 1, pile number 2, the yellow pile, and pile number 3, the red pile, and just see what pile resonates with you, and then I'll just move on to pile number 1. So the purple pile. So hello, pile number 1, the purple pile, for the karma for the narcissist in your life. So we've got the 4 of Cups in reverse, the 10 of Cups in reverse, the Hierophant in reverse, materialism which is the devil, that corresponds to the devil in reverse, and then the 10 of Pentacles. So let's see what I get. It's interesting. So many different reversed cards and only one upright. So let's see. So I am immediately drawn to the 10 of Pentacles. And so my sense is that this particular narcissist, they like to have control of whatever it is that they see themselves as the head of. It could be a family. It could be, I'm hearing also for like some to workplace, in like environment, like a boss or something like that. It all could also be a friend group in smaller cases. But I'm hearing like family or work as being like something like whatever it is, family, friend group, or work. It's like somebody they have to. I see this figure just being very dominant and needing to control everybody and really have a lot of control. And so I'm hearing that for some, they may use with the Hierophant. The Hierophant is oftentimes religious, but I'm hearing more that it could be religious, but it could also be a spiritual abuse. Like this person will kind of hit people over the head with their I hear the word, very distorted moral principles. Like they really, they, they hit people over the head and they use it to control people. I hear a very judgmental vibe from this person, very judgmental about their moral principles, but I hear that they're not a very nice person. They're just very judgmental and very much like, oh, did you hear what Susie the neighbor is doing? Like very much spewing out judgmentalism. And let's see. And I hear that part of their karma, and I hear this is a small part, and there will be a bigger part to it as well. But it's like they're very chained to their judgments of other people. Like they're very whenever they judge another person, it's like they become chained to that person. They become like just very much like chained. Every time I see these images, every time spew a judgment about the next door neighbor Susie or something like that, right? They almost chain themselves to that person. So it's sort of like I see this, they're making all these cords to other people, and they always make these cords to other people that drain their energy without them knowing, if that makes any sense. So it's like but I see these two characters come alive in a very, you can see the Hierophant right here, which can be he can be very judgmental, and I see this guy right here being very judgmental as well. So just a very judgmental energy. And then I see that like no one is really safe around them. and because of that, like people are never safe around this person, but they see it like their judgmentalism. They see that in their own twisted mind that keeps them safe. That's what they think. They think by judging people all the time, that will always keep them safe, but it doesn't. And I hear that because of that, because of their attitude, they they were always, and I'm drawn to the Four of Cups right here, and I'm getting sort of a different feel from the Four of Cups in that they're always, because sometimes this card can be somebody going off to find, healing by themselves, but I see a part of them has been exiled for this card, and that they'll never be whole with the part that's been exiled. Like they've exiled because they're so judgmental, and it's like they're not even their true self. That's what I hear. Like they're not their true self, and because of they've exiled, and they could have had a lot of childhood trauma that has cut themselves off from themselves. So I see with the Four of Cups reversed that this part will never come back, not during this lifetime. Like I hear they're permanently cut off from their inner child, and they will never truly connect to their inner child again. And I hear because of that, with the Ten of Cups in reverse, they'll never have a full sense of like connection. They may not be, and I hear for some, their family may cut off from them because of their behavior. Like you see, you've got two tens here, right? The ten, we've got the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, and here it's like he's surrounded with, family. But I see it sort of like being cut off from family because like they're cut off from themselves, and then they spew this judgmental behavior on other people. And I hear with the Hierophant, I keep on seeing this very self-righteous person, like very, like they can do no wrong. Their shit doesn't stink, like they absolutely, they think that their shit does not stink at all. And I hear this is a very verbal narcissist, and it's also in some cases they could be in some cases they're actually a spiritual narcissist. Like they've taken spiritual principles with the Hierophant and just twisted them to sort of they kind of take these spiritual what do you call it, principles, and they may be like heavily into spirituality, but they use that to beat other people down. And if it's not spirituality, it's just words, like very judgmental, like look at what the neighbor Susie is wearing, look at what the new neighbor, I don't know why I keep on saying Susie, the name Susie, but is doing, look what the neighbor Susie is doing. So it's like this constant natter of verbal abuse, of like psychological verbal abuse that they put on other people, but they never ever question if they're wrong. So I see an overt narcissist in this case. So yeah, being cut off from their inner child permanently, and don't underestimate what that is like. Like don't underestimate, what, to be cut permanently. The part of them has been completely exiled with this Four of Cups in reverse, and I hear they'll never get that back in this lifetime. Like I hear they may, in the last couple of days of their life, they may sort of recognize what they've done, but now they don't. Now they certainly don't. So let me see, what are some other, I'm called to go to the Gypsy Oracle. So let's see, cheerfulness. And I hear that they will never feel true cheerfulness. They will never, frivolity, and I got that as well too, like frivolity, like they won't ever truly feel cheerfulness and frivolity. I hear their greatest pleasure, and sounds very sad, but their greatest pleasure is judging other people. Like that's their greatest pleasure in life, and that's pretty damn sad if you ask me. But yeah, I get that for some they may use spiritual, or in some cases biblical, but I get more like a spiritual, but it could be biblical as well. Like they could use the Bible, Bible thumping judgmentalism in some cases. But yeah, very much like they never have true cheerfulness, no frivolity. And I got 3 from the bottom. It was what they've done to some people. Let's see, what have they? So journey. It's sort of like what I get with that is with some they've cut off your journey in some way. Like they tend to do that. And they do this in several different ways. Sometimes with their words, like they convince someone, oh, you can't do it. You can't do it. Like that kind of thing. Like, and they think that they're justified. They think that, well, like I hear this person saying, well, I'm just telling it like it is. Like they're very cruel with their words, but they somehow, justify it. But I hear that they somehow cut off your journey or your journey to like, to like move forward. They may have been, unfortunately in some cases, been your parent, and they kind of they really got in the way of your progress, I hear. Also it could, but which is, I mean, I think when it's a child, that's pretty much the worst case. But I also hear with the boss too, they somehow cut off um your upward progress. Like that's the fact that they didn't do this permanently. Like you can still move forward, but they put some. I see this image of like a wheel, and someone's wheel moving forward, and then throwing what do you call it, like a wood in it, or something that would stop it. And young woman, they may have done this to a young woman. They may have like he may have done this to you when you were young, or it may have been your parent too. Unfortunately, and constancy. And I get with that, I get 2 things, and that I get that this person will never have a sense of constancy, but I also get that what you want after this experience with perhaps a parent, unfortunately, in some cases a boss, but like you want to feel a sense of constancy, and that's because they really shook up your world, whether they're a parent or not. Like so it's like you want to, that's what you desire after this experience, is you want to feel that people are trustworthy in the world. And yeah, know that there are trustworthy people in the world, and this is quite an anomaly, this person. So child, yeah, like in some cases you may be afraid that this was like this was your parent, but in other cases you may be afraid that you'll pass this on to a child. But your issues that you had with this person onto a child, if this is a familiar or family issue. But I hear, no, you won't do that. You've recognized it and broken the pattern. So know that you don't have to pass this on, and that you are clear of this. You're free and clear of this in terms of passing it on. You may not be clear of the emotional damage from this, but you are clear of passing it on. And let's see. I've got 6 from the top. I'll see what that. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Pleasure seekers. And I got for this is that you need to, after this experience, this person may have made you feel that it's wrong to seek pleasure. Like that's what I heard. Like that it's wrong for you to seek out the good things. Like they almost have this dominant, like suffering is good attitude in life. This almost afflictive suffering is good. So I hear that yeah, it's good to seek out pleasure. It's good to seek out the good things in life. So that's what I got. So that's what I got for pile number 1. And yeah, that the ending is it's good to seek out the good things in life. And you can, because this person may have gotten in your head and taught you, oh, you can't seek out anything that's good for yourself, right? And I hear they're saying that you need to, you not only should you need to seek out the good things in life after this experience. So yeah, it may be my condolences if this is your parent, and if it's your boss, that's bad too. They can definitely like throw a chink in your movement forward. I see them almost mischievously, but in their own deluded way, like just messing people up, but with their own distorted beliefs, sort of justifying it. So it's a very disturbed psyche I see here. And also give yourself a true, I hear, healing purple spiritual energy to heal yourself from this experience. All right. Well, that's all we get for pile number 1. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you have a good day. And yes, it's time for pile number two. Hello, pile number twos. We've got the yellow pile for karma for the narcissist in your life. So we've got pile number two. It is the yellow pile. So let us see what we have for the yellow pile. All right, let us see what we have. We've got the Two of Cups in reversed, the Three of Wands in upright. We've got the Hanged Man in reverse. We've got the Seven of Cups in reverse. And we've got Justice. Interesting. We've got Justice, which is the ultimate karma card, I believe. So that's quite interesting. We'll see what we get from this. Okay. And the first thing, let's see, let me line this up. The first words I get from this reading is I'm drawn to the Seven of Cups and I hear cloudy judgment. And I hear from this particular narcissist, you didn't know who this particular person was for a long time. You didn't know, and I hear with the Hanged Man, and they kind of got you stuck in a situation with them. In some cases, it could have been a love relationship. In some cases, it could have been a friendship. But it's like they really got you stuck for a long time with them, and just with cloudy judgment and lots of, and I see for them, they're kind of a mix of a covert narcissist and a sociopath. So different energy than pile number one, that's for sure. Kind of a different energy. But yeah, I hear that they got you stuck in this situation for a long time, and they basically they got you stuck, and you were kind of in this situation where you were like, should I get out, should I get out, but then they kept on convincing you. I see almost like a snake like energy where they basically were like, they kept on convincing you. I see this energy of like a snake constantly convincing you, but not in the loud overt way as pile not one was, but sort of like but loud. I hear loud in their quiet way. So they really convinced you um to stay with them for a long time. They may have hid their true colors, and you're kind of stuck with them, and you always knew something was wrong, but you were like, but they're no charm. They're so charming, and they love me and everything. And they say that they love me, and um they say that they love me. So that's what I see is what they did to you. They kind of they hid their true colors, and you, even though you kind of knew something was wrong, you you were just, you kind of, they kind of, I hear they sucked your life away. In some cases there was cheating. In some cases, and they played with your life. They played with your emotions. They, yeah, in some cases they played with your life even, but emotions, like lots of emotional, I see a manipulation in a subtle yet loud, quiet way, I hear. And what is their karma? Let's see. I got the Justice, and I hear, okay, I got that under. So it's like it. So the here is a permanent state of sadness, of not being able to find. Because I sense is that they really wanted to control you, and 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 they never, and you finally got away. You finally got away from them. You finally got away, but they'll never have somebody like you again. And they feel, and they'll just feel that sense of Five of Cups, of like, sadness. Like they'll never have someone. And I hear them, they'll try and put their fangs into other people, but it won't work. Like they'll try and put their fangs into other people, and it won't work. And let's see what else do we have. And I see that, okay, what do I see with the Eight of Wands? It's like they're bumping. I see them bumping heads with this, like with speed. Right? This is kind of what speed. I hear them bumping into things constantly. In some cases, it could be like some sort of crash or accident is their karma, but it's sort of like, it's like they're crashing in, I see speedily crashing into things. Yeah, whatever that means. Like sort of like this constant. I see them almost in. I got this image like these two cards combined, them in a box and just trying to get out, but like bumping quickly against the square, trying to get out, but not being able to. And death. We've got death. So that here is like I hear that they'll be permanently morbid, like because death can be actually be a good card. It can be in some, it can be bad, it can be good, but in this case I see this sense of morbidity, like just morbidity. That's one thing that can mean like just sort of a sense of in this state of, and I hear this, I saw this image of it, of like a cat chasing its own tail or some sort of creature. So it's like they're moving at a fast speed but going nowhere and being stuck in these kind of energies. So let's see what else. And I got 6 from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's sort of a message that they want to give you. So yeah, so I hear for the 6 of Wands is you're gonna have victory beyond the situation. And they say that it's important for you to release, like don't beat yourself up on it if you find it hard to release the situation, but they say it's important to release this sort of dark energy. Don't let them, because I keep on seeing this image of fangs, and it's sort of like they may connect to your energy and just and sort of suck it dry. So maybe some cord cuttings with it is important, just to release the energy and protect yourself with a bubble of unconditional love. Like I hear that in this case, energetic work is very necessary. I also heard the word stalking in some cases, that protecting yourself from stalking, whether it's energetic or actually in physical. So that's an important thing to do. But they say that very much that pay attention to the energy of that, and when you do that, you can have victory. You can have victory. You can have victory, which is the 7 of Wands. And I got 7 from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I heard the words, all is not lost, and then 7 from the bottom. So we'll see what that says. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I hear reunion. So I hear that all is not lost in terms of, what I get from that is in having a safe person, whether it's a romantic partner or friends, because they may have, I hear in some cases, uprooted your friendship circle, and they took as much as they could away from you. And I hear from that as a sense of, you can have people in your life that that are that are safe and close at the same time, and you can have a different, circle. I hear in your, you can reunite with people in your life that are of a different caliber, and that's what I hear. And I hear that's very important. That's very important. And then I also heard for 4 from the top for these other wisdom cards, and engage higher reason. And what I get with that is that, like, it's important to kind of move up the river away from them, but to a higher level from them, like, because they really wanted to get their fangs in you. So it's important to like move to a higher level away from them. And yeah, I hear like visualizing a yellow light will be helpful for sort of cleansing yourself from this dark, energy. Like I see a very murky, dark fang like energy. So it's just like, yeah, it's important for you to release that. And I got 3. Let's see. Let's see what else I can get. That's 3. Oh yes, okay, 3 from the bottom for the wider right deck. But so we've got Queen of Wands, and I hear that all is not lost also in regards to you reclaiming your passionate energy, because I see this image of you being just absolutely deflated by this person. I see this almost, what do you call it, a toy, or not a toy, but what are those inflatables? I saw this image in my mind of it being completely deflated, and that's what you feel like this after this person got their fangs. And I hear also her for, like, it could be for some, it could be a decades long marriage that you're out of, and I hear all is not lost. and you can reclaim that passionate, like you see with the Queen of Wands, right? She's got her wand she's holding. She's got her black cat with her, which is symbolizes her, like, not mess. You can't mess with her, right? Because she'll claw you. She'll claw you. And then also, she's not afraid to be in the spotlight. She's not afraid to hold her passion. So I hear you can get your passion back. You can get your intuition back with the black cat, and your sense of being out in the world fearlessly with the Queen of Wands energy. She's very much being out in the. She's not afraid to take charge. She's not afraid to go out into the world fearlessly. So that's what I get for this deck. So I hear that, yeah. Embody, don't be afraid. You can get that Queen of Wands energy back. All is not lost, I hear. All is not lost. All right, so that's what we have for pile number 2. And now it is time for pile number 3, which is the red flashlight. Let me grab the cards out of the way so we have a clear space so we can put the cards there. So that was pile 2. Now we're on to pile number 3. Let me put the cards away. And let's see. We've got the High Priestess, Page of Wands, 9 of Wands in reverse, Temperance, and King of Wands. Let me put these all up here. Let me put that all up here. Okay, so I'm getting different messages right here. I'm getting, okay. So I'm gonna pull another card just so I can get sort of an understanding of this. I got 3 and 4 from the, so I can sort of get a sense of understanding. Okay. So I'm brought to the High Priestess, and my sense is that this situation, it forced you to pull on every reserve that you had to get out of it. That's what I got. It forced you to pull on every reserve that you had, and that this person really tried to steal your power. Like, that's what I got. Like, this person really tried to steal your power, and it's almost like they enjoyed stealing your power. They really wanted to. I see this almost this energy of two separate energies, like going against each other, and like this person, they almost like they hated your spiritual essence. They hated your something about how connected you were to, and that's sort of the energy that you had to pull on to get away from this particular narcissist. And I see that it's like a very manipulative person, and they tried to. This is what I get with the King of Wands. They really tried to steal your fire. They tried to. I see this image of them almost trying to push you off a throne type thing. Like, they had this idea that they always tried to push people off their throne, and and they wanted to steal your fire. I see the Page of Wands being the villain, so to speak, in this scenario, which is odd because sometimes, in this reading you'd think it would be the King of Wands, but it's actually the Page of Wands. And I see an image of the Page of Wands, just a very interesting energy of like them like wanting to steal. Like, I hear the word steal, very much steal someone else's fire, and I heard they didn't realize that you worked for it. Like, they had all sorts of distortions that they put on you. Like, they may have looked down on you for your sort of intuitive beliefs. They looked down on you for various reasons, and they wanted to, like, kick you off your throne, steal your fire, and make things difficult. I heard with the 9 of Wands, they always wanted to make it feel like you were you were almost there, but you couldn't. You could never get what you wanted. You could never get what you wanted. And I hear this energy of this very, just sort of a wayward soul that had lost their spiritual center. So they didn't want you to have your spiritual center. I hear, like, they didn't want you to have your spiritual center because they had lost theirs a long time ago, and they always made it seem like, oh, you can never get there, you can never. And I heard that with the temperance card. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. Sorry, my cat is just being a little bit destructive to my piles of cards. It's being a little bit destructive, but that's okay. Um, and they wanted to, yeah, they didn't like your spiritual energy, and they tried to attack it as much as possible. They tried to attack your fire. They didn't ever wanted to see you in a leadership position. And I hear that you had the tempering energy that that could have been helpful to them, but they could never have taken it. This particular narcissist, they had an allergy to tempering peaceful energy. That's what I hear. And you had to get out. You had to turn the temperance card upside down because, oop, temperance card upside down because you needed to have this healing energy. Like they always wanted to steal your power or other people's power and prevent them from moving forward. And that's what they tried to do. They always made it seem like, oh, you could never do it. You could never do it. And I hear for their karma, this particular person's karma, like I hear that I heard the words very psychologically disturbed, and I'm drawn mostly to the Seven of Cups in reverse, in terms like their brain never knows how to settle. I hear that their karma is being very psychologically disturbed. Like, I hear almost like they would sometimes just say things. They would say things just to get a rise out of people. Like they would almost do that, and then they just like to always take people down from their they had this thing about taking people down from their pedestals, but they weren't really pedestals, right? They just had their distortions. Like, they always like to cut down the King of Wands, even though they didn't realize that, well, the person may have worked for it. They may have, worked to get what they wanted, and so they just had this distortion, very bratty energy. I hear, like, very bratty, the type that would, like, steal stuff, but just for the hell of it, just for the way of getting away, just that kind of energy. So I see that their karma is being very emotionally disturbed because they're just a very emotionally disturbed person. And let's see what else. We'll go to the Gypsy Oracle, and I got pleasure seekers. Interesting. I got that too in a previous reading, but it's like, in this case, it's different. It's sort of like I see them in this constant loop of pleasures, of addiction and pleasure seeking, but not in a healthy way. Like, that's what I see. Like, they're constantly seeking pleasure, but they'll never have true contentment, and very emotionally disturbed. And then wife, I hear, what do I get with that? Like, just, that may have been something that they were a bad, they might have been a bad husband. But I hear that they're going to perpetually torment whoever they're with. Like, whoever they're with, they're always going to torment them, and that will be like, well, I guess it would be, it's quite bad for the other person, but it's like being in this loop where they never get into it, and it's bad for other people because they kind of suck them into this loop, I see. But, like, their karma is never getting out of the loop, and then unfortunately I see in this case that they have a tendency to suck other people into their karma loop, and it should be just their karma, but they tend to suck other people into their karma loop. But sigh, and yeah, that's what I hear. That's, yeah, you're thinking sigh. That's what a lot of people think about this person. Sigh, like, oh dear, like, why did I have to deal with this person? I hear that's what a lot of people that get involved with this person are gonna think. That's what a lot of people are gonna think. So, unfortunately, I see this one as a narcissist who has, you know, negative effect on other people, and they tend to draw people into their loops, very very much. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see what that says. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5, 6, 7. And then young woman. They may. I hear that in some cases they pray after younger naive women. Like they just, or naive even men too. I hear in some cases, like men, like they can kind of put on the charm and go after, like, yeah, even I hear it, even men, like they may even go after like younger men or something, and then just try and control them. They like to, whoever they can control, like they have it in their own mind that like that people need to be cut off their thrones, but they don't realize that they're actually the toxic person who's always cutting people down, and just, yeah, not a very safe energy. So I and then room, interesting. And I hear for that is for room is you need to make room for someone new, and you have to clean this energy, this person's energy. I hear in some cases you may still be forced to be connected to this person in some way if you have, maybe you have kids together or some sort of, might be a family member, or like, but I hear that whether you are away from this person, you still are forced to endure them. Make room. And I also hear reclaim your room with this. Reclaim your space. Like, clean it out in a new way that will separate the energy. Like, reclaim your space, claim your house, and yeah, like make room for another person, or reorganize your room in order to create different space. And I hear for, this is for a couple people specific, but let's see what card that is. Letter. Interesting. What does that mean? I hear you may want to, in some cases, and this is only for like some people, you may want to write them a letter. It's something about a letter, like to describe, like it might make you feel better in some cases, but use your discretion with that too, because we always have to use our, discretion what we do, especially with any dealing with narcissists, right? But I hear in some cases a letter, or some sort of, whether you send it to them or not, that would be a good way to sort of like clear out the energy, reorganize your room. Even I hear like something like saging, or some saging the energy, some sort of saging to clean their energy out of your space for room. But also letter, and it's whether you send it or not, a letter may be a key aspect for some people reading this or watching this reading. So yeah, and then let's see. I got, there's 3, 4, 5 from the bottom. Make necessary sacrifices, and I hear for that, it like sort of a sacrifice, that kind of like to clean out your space, like is and throw, I hear for that, throw out things that no longer that no longer belong in your space, to do with them. Like I hear very much a, with this picture, if you look this right here, she's getting rid of something. So I hear that cleansing your, and even your space, your energetic space. I hear it may be important to release it from your, even your bodily space, like your psyche, your spiritual bodies, your emotional bodies, like your aura field. I see, and I hear this image of like maybe an energy healer could help you release all that energy. And just, I hear this, I just see this image of wanting to get it all out, get it all out, get it out of my space, write a letter, somehow get it all out of my space so I can make a new life. And I hear, yeah, that's what I see from this picture right here. You see there, she's getting it all out through the letter, and also, if that's appropriate, it may not be appropriate for me, but also the space, the room, reclaiming your space, reclaiming your body, and just reclaiming your soul. I hear reclaiming your soul. So that's all I get for pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you have a good day.